Hello everybody, welcome to Wide Family Farm. Let's get started with this week's garden tour. Okay, so I have some more chamomile. I need to come out here. I have a ton more buds. When you pick them, they come back full force. So I have to get out here today and start picking. I also have more calendula that came up as well. My parsley is doing really well. I think I'm going to trim some of that down. This is lovage. My husband actually tried some of it the other day, and he's like, it tastes funny. And then bam, it hit him. That celery taste. So I cannot wait to harvest that and dry it out for soups and stuff like that for the winter. This is all basil. It's grown up tremendously. Now, since I've cut it back once, it came back, and it came back more powerful. So once you do that first initial clip, it really comes back more bushy, and you can tell, like, look how big this leaf is. It's doing really good. I have actually a strawberry I'd like to show you. We haven't ate it yet. Can you see it? Yeah, I got strawberries, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick it. If I can see it. Oh, there it is. Look at that, guys. Alexandra strawberries. So they're real small. These are ever-bearing, but I couldn't help it. I'm like, I gotta get something in here that is gonna be awesome. So we got ever-bearing strawberries, little ones. So, they have a really different type of taste too. So, all right, let's go ahead and we'll start with our main onion bed here. Our onions are getting bigger. I actually cannot wait to harvest these. Some of them did okay, some of them didn't. I think the ones that we over here that we actually started from seed are doing way better than the sets. But you know, we came across that problem early spring where the frost got them, and so we didn't have a whole lot to work with. So let's come on over here, and let's take a look at our zucchini. And then this is called the roundinis, and I got one little teeny zucchini in there, and then over here I have several as well, but you can't see them. And then this is my pumpkin. My pumpkins are doing great, and I actually have several more since I've seen you last. I got a pumpkin starting there and a pumpkin there, and then one right there, guys. Look at that. And then I got another one on the other side. Now, I was reading online one day, and I came across this idea where they put their pumpkin or gourds or anything like that in a colander from the dollar store. So I have this old metal colander that I bought at a junk store, and I decided to put it in there, and that way the pumpkin gets air from all angles. So I'm testing that theory out, and we'll see how that pumpkin does. Moving on down here, my dragon tongue bush beans are in full force, and we're getting a ton of bush beans. There's one right there that I need to harvest, and there's another one right there that I need to harvest, and it's absolutely, they're just doing wonderful. I did a lot of research on my celery, and they said after 6 inches, your celery can be harvested. So I think my celery is actually ready to go. So as soon as we get some tomatoes ready, I am going to put them in with my tomatoes, a little bit of onions, and we're going to make like a V8 juice and can it for chilies and stuffed peppers and stuff like that. But take a look how healthy this celery is. I am so proud of this, you guys. Celery is really hard to grow, and I feel like this was one of my major successes this year. Now, we did have some celery that failed, which was the pink celery. It didn't do very well. But this is the Chinese celery, and this is just doing absolutely wonderful, guys. Take a look at this celery here. First time growing it, and I'm really, really proud of it. Over here, I have a ton of sunflowers. I did the companion garden theme this year, and we did a lot of sunflowers, a lot of borage, a lot of nasturtium, and marigolds this year. This is a hot scorpion type pepper. This is a Moruga Satan mixed with a ghost pepper, and the peppers are on it, and they're doing wonderful. Take a look at that. And then over here, our goldfish container pepper is actually doing really good, and it has several peppers on it, which I am super proud of. I'm going to say that I was really nervous this year. I really thought that I was going to lose everything. I thought I was going to lose all my peppers. We put a lot of money into it and put a lot of money into Shed Wars, and I thought I wasn't going to have squat this year, but it turned out to have the opposite effect. So let me go ahead and show you what we got. Over here is all of our peppers, and they're doing absolutely wonderful. These are the King of the North peppers here. And look how bushy they're getting. Look how big they're getting. Some of these have flowers on them, so they're going to have peppers on them very soon. And like I said, this is some of the companion gardening that I was getting started in these beds. Over here, these are mini bells. And I keep having an issue with this pepper. I'm going to have to tie it up. But these are Tabasco. And then over here is cayenne. And we have more Tabasco peppers back in here as well. And they've got buds all over them, flowers all over them. And I'm super excited about that. And then in here we have ground cherries mixed in. And that's doing great. And if you look over here, you're going to be rather shocked, but we have butternut squash pretty much everywhere. It is absolutely insane. Here is one right here. This butternut squash has stretched itself all the way over here, all the way back there, which there are butternut squashes in there as well. Back in here, through our raspberry patch, over in here, down the aisleways, and there are butternut squashes pretty much everywhere. It is an insane jungle, guys, an insane jungle. One thing I'm also really, really proud of is our kidney beans, which it did wonderful this year, and they're still doing wonderful. I'm going to wait to harvest them. And then over here, this is Isis candy. This is a candy, basically a cherry tomato. And some of them are starting to go ripe. And you can see right there, there's an Isis candy right there. So there are surprises everywhere this year in the garden. And I'm super excited. This is how I wanted it. This is how I envisioned it. But I didn't think it was going to come to life because the weather this year. Over here, this is Chinese noodle beans, and they're getting so big and they're stretching across the trellis. I cannot wait for them to get beans and for them to hang down from this trellis. It's just going to look so cool, and I'm super excited about that. I got some straight 8s from Walmart, and they're doing okay. They're not doing the best, but they are growing, and I have some of them right here. Over here, looks like I'm going to have to pick cucumbers again because I got cucumbers everywhere, hanging here and hanging there. They're just all over the place. They're thriving, and I think it was due to my companion planting techniques with the nasturtium, and then I'm doing the chive spray, and I'm really getting in there and got on the bugs right away. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And it's doing wonderful. These are volunteer tomatoes, so that's pretty exciting. And then I planted my straight 8, one of my straight 8s in here. and then my other straight 8 over here. And then over here is the Zucca gourd plant, and it is getting huge, and we even have Zucca gourds on it. These gourds can get up to 100 pounds, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And this plant is also just taking over the garden. Okay, so moving on, I did some research on my Brussels sprouts. I have no idea how to grow Brussels sprouts. It was my first year. So let me show you exactly, ooh, mosquitoes are bad. Let me show you exactly what I did to them. Okay guys, you're supposed to cut them down. So that's what I did. I cut all the leaves down, but just left some at the top. And I did that as over here as well. And I have noticed that I am starting to get little sprouts, guys. Can you see them? We've got Brussels sprouts. Yeah, super cool. I didn't know you were supposed to do this technique, and you are. And so that is what makes the Brussels sprouts grow. So just remember that, guys. You cut the leaves back, and that's what I did, and they are thriving, and I'm really, really excited about that. Yep, see right there? Surprises everywhere. They're everywhere. We're going to have tons of butternut squash. And like I said, it's just taken over the garden. It's taken over this area, and we just have squashes everywhere. And I don't know if you can see this, but we have one right here hanging out in the raspberry patch. What a weird plant, right? And it's just taking over everywhere. And over here, I have some watermelon. I was doing some research on watermelon, and it's supposed to get about 2 inches of rain or 2 inches of water a week. So I've already watered it, and I heavily watered it the other day. It's still having what looks to be some kind of rot, but we are going to have some little teeny watermelons this year, and that is super exciting for us, especially with our small bed space. I came across here, and I thought my cucumbers over here were dying. They aren't. It was due to my dog, and yeah, they're turning brown and not doing very hot over here. These were Armenian and Ashley cucumbers, and I got one down there as well. You can kind of see it. And this yellowness is due to my dog, not anything that I personally did to the garden. So I'll remember that next time I plant anything on this outside pathway here. My dog will pee on it and destroy it. All right, let's talk about tomatoes for a minute, shan't we? This is our tomato lane. These are all Amish paste, and you can tell by looking at them, they are huge, guys. Look at that Amish paste right there. Now we are getting some leaf rot here, and we need to trim those off. And I even thought about giving these some aspirin to help make them a little stronger, because this is all due to humidity, and we've been getting a lot of that lately, and we need to trim some of that off.
Yeah, we need to tie up too. It's been about a week and a half since I tied up, and now we're starting to get ones that are leaning and falling. So it's time to tie up again. But we're gonna have plenty of fruit this year, even with the damage from the weather is so crazy, the humidity is so high, temperature fluctuations. So it's putting a hurting on the tomato plants, but they're still bearing plenty of fruit. I think we should do pretty well.
And yeah, so that's doing really good right there. What exactly are you doing, babe? Tell us.
I'm spraying some neem oil and some soapy water on the plants, just to help with bugs and things.
Okay. So yeah, our tomato lane is doing good. You can see right here, some of our cucumbers are starting to stretch over into the tomatoes, and that happens every year. We have just tons of tomatoes, this year. Kellogg's breakfast is over here. And take a look at that, you guys. Kellogg's breakfast. Yeah. everything is looking really great. Okay, so here I planted some carrots. This is kind of funny. I pulled all the carrots. We got about 7 pounds of carrots, if you guys haven't noticed or seen in our community page. We got 7 pounds of carrots. I planted some more, and these ones, when they develop, I don't plan on picking them. I'm just going to leave them in the ground for the winter. And it looks like over here we have some volunteer lettuce. And I wasn't expecting that, but that's pretty funny that that is in there. And yeah, so we got some volunteer lettuce in there. But this is all carrots, the whole bed. I just absolutely love carrots, and I'm so happy that they did so good this year with all the weather issues. Okay, I am going to leave this area because it is so mosquito-y and I'm getting bit up. But I would like to thank each and every one of you for stopping by Wide Family Farm and taking a look at our garden. We have worked extremely hard this year, and it's just paying off. The peppers, the tomatoes, everything is coming together just as how we envisioned it. But in the beginning, we had our doubts. So thanks for watching. We will see you at next week's garden tour, and have a good one, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next video.